Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are finally doing the JJK review, number 2, and this is covering volumes 7 through 15. So the death painting womb arc, or whatever it's called, through currently where we're at in the Shibuya arc, in the physical release of the series. So yeah, this has been long awaited. I was putting this off for a while. I don't think I've ever been less motivated to read a manga than I was with this series, just because of how I felt about the first few volumes, which I'll talk about a bit more when we get into the actual review part. But yeah, I finally pushed through it. I finished reading the series the other day. I've just been busy the last couple days. But yeah, finally back again, and we got the review. Now, my review of it might make some people mad. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, also, over the last few days, or last week, my manga collection video blew up. Like, I mean, it didn't, like, blow up, but, like, for my, like, standards, within a week, almost 1,000 views is insane. I gained almost, I think, about 20 subs. That's just crazy. I'm at 91 subs, and that's just insane to me. Like, I set out, this, like, past year, last year, I guess, maybe? Can't remember, but my whole goal was to get 100 subs by the time I graduate high school. 91 subs right now is just insane. So thank you guys so much for all the support lately. Yeah, was not expecting that to happen at all. So yeah, that video is now easily the most popular video on my channel. So it got a ton of likes. You know, a lot of people were interacting with it, commenting. Love interacting with you guys in the comments. Yeah, it's just crazy to me. So welcome all of the new subs. I do review stuff, so that's what we're doing today. And yeah, guys, just thank you so much. And yeah, let's get right into the video. So I guess I'll start by doing sort of a recap, sum up my thoughts that I sort of went over in the first video I did. So the thing about me and JJK, I really like almost everything about it. You know, it's pretty violent. The themes are cool. The idea behind it's cool. You know, exorcising cursed spirits and stuff like that. That's really cool. There's a lot of, like, martial arts sort of elements in it also. But there are a few elements that make it very hard to get into and really enjoy. And those two things being the artwork. Sometimes, you know, the artwork is really cool, and at moments, you know, especially later in the Shibuya arc, there's some, like, 2-page spreads that are amazing. But, you know, during, like, fight scenes and stuff, in such a action-oriented series, it's very hard to tell what's going on. You know, I don't mind rigid and, like, gritty and unrefined artwork from time to time, but you gotta be able to tell what's going on, and it's gotta be smooth in some elements. But in this, it's just messy, in my opinion. You can't tell what's going on half the time. The other thing being its overly complex power system. And maybe the power system itself isn't too complex, but the way it presents the information and tries to explain it is not great. And yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly. I couldn't tell you how Gojo's power works. You know, some people's powers are easier to understand than others. But, like, Gojo, and there's this one dude later on in the series who has, like, a frames per second weird ability. I don't even know what it does. It's just overly complicated. And yeah, those are the two biggest things that bring this series very, like, low for me. I don't think it's terrible by any means, but it's wildly overrated. you know, the anime is excellent, and, you know, I'm going to continue to pick up the manga because I know it's ending soonish, and I would like to see it through to the end. But yeah, the manga is just okay, and you know, it does improve. I was very critical of it in the first video, and I will say there are a lot of things that do improve about it over the course of the series, and it definitely brings, the last two arcs definitely bring up the score for me from being around like 6.57 range to a solid 8 out of 10, and I'll get into that here in a few. But yeah, JJK just isn't it for me. You know, I'm enjoying it at the moment where it's at, but overall as a series, it's kind of but it's getting there where it's at now. So I guess I'll start by talking about like the cursed womb painting. I don't even know what it's called. It's something like that, but that arc, which is actually in the first season of the anime, and the whole point of me breaking this up like it is, it was so that I can cover in the first part everything that was in the anime, the first season of the anime, and then in the second video cover everything that hasn't been adapted yet. But me mistakenly, I thought that the anime ended within volume 6, but turns out it actually ended within volume 7. So that was kind of my bad. But so here in the second part of the JJK review, I'll review, you know, the ending of the anime, I guess, or that portion. The Cursed Womb arc is definitely like, well, it's not filler, but like, it's definitely just a transition arc, I guess, because the ending of the previous arc, when there was like a Hanami and stuff, was like super hype, and then this is meant to just be like, I mean, there's fights and stuff, but it definitely feels a lot like low risk, if that makes sense. Like, it's not very high stakes at all, because you're not dealing with like main bad guys. There's just like some villains that they're dealing with, and it definitely feels just like, you know, it's slowing down just a little bit before we hop into something crazy. So not a bad arc. I mean, it was okay. Most of the JJK arcs at the beginning-ish of the series, within the first 7 volumes, are honestly like 6s and 7s. This arc in particular, I'll give it a 7. When JJK really starts to get good, though, for me, was within, I guess it was, actually, JJK's on this shelf, within volume 8, where we start the Gojo's Past arc, which is just like a flashback arc where it gives, tells Gojo's backstory, I guess. It also has like Geto and stuff like that in it, and you see a lot of the other like rank 1 sorcerers, younger, you know, I believe, I forget her name, but the chick that's obsessed with money, she's in it. I think Nanami is in it. But they're just younger versions of themselves, which is nice to see. But what I do really like about the Gojo's Past arc especially is that it gives context to what happens in Volume 0. So Volume 0, you know, JJK 0, the prequel, whatever, you can pretty much read it at any point within, you know, your read through JJK, because it's sort of a standalone thing. You know, with my read through, I had read it before. That was the first thing I read, because I was trying to read it chronologically. This arc, this arc gives a lot of context to what happens there. You know, you understand Geto more, understand the relationship between Gojo and Geto, and why, you know, the ending. You know, I'm not trying to spoil JJK 0 too much, because I know there's a lot of people who haven't seen it yet. But the ending to JJK 0, you know, how we all thought it ended, why that was so difficult, you know, and just explains that relationship. So yeah, I did really enjoy the Gojo's past arc. That was probably like an 8 out of 10 arc. And the final-ish part we're going to be talking about is currently where we are at in the Shibuya arc. Now, the Shibuya arc has just been insane. Probably the best arc in JJK so far. But what I really like about it is how they did the Gojo's past arc, where I felt like it in like the timeline, it was perfectly placed there in preparation for the Shibuya arc, because of how it almost feels like, I like how everything is tied together, because we have a JJK 0, which is, you know, the series alludes to a lot, name dropping like Yuta, or, you know, talking about what happened in the night parade of 1,000, was it Night Parade of 1,000 Corpses or something like that? I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's something kind of metal like that. It's Night Parade something, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It alludes to that a lot, and the Gojo's past arc is positioned where it gives context to everything that happened in Zero, and the Shibuya arc is very similar to what happened in JJK 0. So I like how everything kind of connects and comes full circle, especially in this arc. We do see like we get the reunion between Gojo and what's his name? Gato. But, you know, Gato might not be who he seems. I'm not exactly too sure, because it hasn't been fully explained yet, I don't think. Or maybe it has. But Gato, who we see, might not actually be Gato, but rather a cursed spirit that's possessing him, or his corpse. So, yeah. Not too sure about that, because I don't think it's been fully explained. But, you know, the way everything is connected, though, it definitely feels like another JJK 0 just happening in the current. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to explain, but they both feel very similar. During this arc, we do get a handful of really, really cool fights. One of the first fights, big fights that happens, is Itadori versus Choso, who is one of the death painting people, whose brothers Itadori and Nobara killed in the death painting arc, the two, you know, weird cursed hybrid spirits. He has like a blood manipulation curse technique, and that whole fight was really cool, watching that play out. The ending to the fight was kind of odd, because, you know, sort of like there was an interference with two other characters. I guess they used their curse technique to put Choso into some sort of illusion. And yo, speaking of that, I just remembered, when that happens, Sukuna like comes out, because Itadori like goes unconscious. Well, he goes unconscious, but they force feed him more of the fingers. So I think at this point, by where I'm at right now, like by the end of volume 15, I think almost all of the 20 fingers have been fed to Itadori. So, you know, Sukuna's full power is almost here. And during this arc, he gets fed a lot of fingers by Jugo, his name is, the volcano dude, and also these two girls who were in JJK 0. You know, the two high school girls or middle schoolers that were with Gato. If you guys know what I'm talking about, then, you know, they show up. But when Sukuna like comes out, he straight up like just one swipe and just splits this girl's head in half, like takes off her head like horizontally, and like it was just insane. Sukuna's freaking brutal, and I love the really violent moments like that, and just unexpected, just like he doesn't care, just swipe, half the girl's head's gone, like wow. that happened. That was a cool fight though. I like the blood manipulation. They're running all around this train station, and there's one point where they're like fighting in the bathroom, and there's like I think, what was it, like sprinklers or something related with water activated, and it like messed up, and it was a very fun fight. I did enjoy that. We also get the big Mahito fight with Itadori, Mahito, Nobara, and even where we're at now, my boy Toto shows up. Goto, love Toto. Ultimate Broski. He shows up, and now he's like, telling Itadori to get his crap together because Mahito is insane. Sort of the biggest rival to Itadori, I feel like, his like biggest nemesis. That's a cool fight. How that plays out is interesting because Nobara kind of got clapped. Not gonna lie, she may or may not be dead. I doubt they'll kill off like a main character, like one of the 3 main characters, just like that. This is a Shonen Jump series, and the whole idea is like something really bad happens, but it usually works out in the end because they were saying, oh, she's basically dead, but there's like, oh, such a small percentage that we might be able to, bring her back. She's gonna get brought back. I feel it. It's gonna happen, but, her whole face is screwed up, though. We'll see what happens, but she probably isn't dead. Who is dead, though? My boy Nanami, man. Nanami dies during this arc. I forget who he is fighting. It may have been Jugo, because I know he gets, like, burnt to death. There's something really awesome. Nanami is just awesome as a character. He's got, like, the 7-3 quirk. Or no, I said quirk like it's My Hero Academia. Curse technique. What am I even thinking? He's got, like, the butcher's knife, but it's, like, wrapped up. It's really awesome. And, like, half of his body just gets burnt away. And, like, you can see his skull, like, through his, like, burnt flesh. It's really awesome, and he's just walking around. Awesome moment. But he ends up getting just disintegrated by Mahito. And that's sort of, like, what kicks Itadori into a bit of a rage. And there's that whole fight. And that's sort of how that kicks off. But yeah, Nanami is insane. R.I.P. to the GOAT. This series does have a lot of great characters. I'm a big fan of what's his name? Gojo. Toto is also very cool, my bro. Nanami is an awesome character. I like Sukuna a lot. Reminds me a lot of Kurama from Naruto, and I feel like that's how Kurama should have been. I feel like Sukuna is sort of Kurama, but improved. That's maybe a bit of a hot take. I'm not too sure, but I think Sukuna's character is like what Kurama in Naruto should have been. Because Kurama just sort of didn't feel super intimidating in Naruto, to be honest. He just sort of felt like he sat there and did nothing the whole time. Not that he could do anything, because he was trapped, like, within the cage, but whatever. I'm kind of going off here. This whole arc, there's just so many cool parts that happen, and I feel like this arc also really shows off how violent and, like, gross it can get. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Grotesque. Like, there's a lot of, like, people. It's basically like a large-scale supernatural terrorist attack. There's just people getting eaten and, like, cut in half by, like, demons and cursed spirits. Really, there's a lot of moments that I was like, whoa, this is a Shonen Jump series. Like, holy crap. And I feel like stuff like that really marks a new age in Shonen Jump. Like, we go back, years and years ago. Series like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, Yu-Gi-Oh! Even, you know, you think about, well, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is pretty dark, if you really think about it, but it doesn't show half the stuff that this series shows, you know. It really, and stuff like Chainsaw Man, too. Huge fan of Chainsaw Man, but I feel like the stuff that's currently in Shonen Jump, it just is a testament to, like, how Shonen Jump magazine has evolved over the years, and just culture in general, how, like, more violent things, I guess people have just been more desensitized, and how, you know, darker and more violent things are more widely accepted, I guess. Interesting stuff, but yeah, this arc is brutal. One of my favorite characters who I kind of forgot to talk about, which is weird because he plays sort of a big role within these two arcs, within the Gojo Past arc and the Shibuya arc, because he's like the main villain of the Gojo Past arc, and that is Toji Fushiguro. And you might be thinking, Fushiguro, that name sounds familiar. Yeah, it's Megumi's dad. Megumi, his dad, Toji, is just insane. Basically, Zenin clan, he's like a heir. I don't know if he's an heir to the Zenin clan. I don't know exactly how that whole, like, the lineage works. But basically, he dipped. He didn't like the way the Zenin clan did things because they were a bunch of old douches and geezers. So he just dipped, and he erased his own cursed energy. He just got rid of it, and so now he's like a normal dude, pretty much. But what he just has amazing, like, physical prowess, similar to Itadori. He's very similar, and he just becomes like a curse hunter, bounty hunter, like cursed bounty hunter or whatever. He kills like curse users and stuff, and he almost kills Gojo in the Gojo's past arc. Gojo probably should have died there, honestly, but, you know, plot convenience. Yeah, he's just an awesome character. Gojo ends up killing him at the end of the Gojo's past arc. But in the Shibuya arc, there's a character who has, like, necromancy, and the way it works is if, like, you consume, like, part of a corpse, then, like, that corpse will, like, be infused with your body or something like that. So there's a character that ate part of the corpse and is supposed to gain, like, some of the abilities or whatever, but the spirit was just so strong that Toji's spirit, I guess, possesses the body, and it's Toji. Like, you know, the other person's supposed to be in control, but Toji takes control and just turns on the necromancer and kills the lady and just starts doing his own thing. Yeah, but in that part, Megumi ends up having to fight his dad and doesn't even realize that it's his dad because he never met his dad. But Toji knows, and, like, you know, it's a whole thing. And us as the reader, we understand what just happened. We know who Toji is, but Megumi, he doesn't realize it. I feel like he knows something's up, but, you know, he doesn't know. So yeah, that is gonna be about it for my review of JJK. This few arcs, also sort of JJK as a whole. You know, I guess I'll sum up my full review. That's that the art isn't good. The plot, and not really the plot, but, like, power system and the way it explains stuff also isn't good. Overly complicated. It makes it very hard to get into, both of those things. But the last two arcs have been pretty fantastic. I'd say the Shibuya arc is, again, like 8.5, maybe even a 9 so far. It's just been very, very good. You know, I've enjoyed it a lot. Overall, the series, I gotta give it like an 8 out of 10. Extremely overrated, and I think part of that is because of the anime. The anime is very good. It's awesome. It's very well animated. Mappa did a great job, as per usual. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Like, it's kind of to me, but I'm very interested to see where it goes, especially when we are so close to Sukuna being at its full power and all 20 fingers being consumed. We'll just have to see what happens. Also, you know, Gato being like front and center at the very end of volume 15. Gato shows up and he's like, "All right, I'm the villain now. Like, you're gonna have to fight me now." So, you know, it's gonna get pretty crazy here. Yeah, that's what I think of JJK. So, if you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd greatly appreciate it. We are so close to 100 subs. Once we get to 100 subs, I'm probably just gonna go insane. And do a video, some sort of special. I'm thinking of something. Yeah, I'll figure something out. But please do consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it if we hit 100 subs this summer. That would just be mental. So, thank you guys for all of the support lately. Also, really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. So, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.